A nice warm welcome to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. And in today's video, we are looking at a grade 11 interpenetration and development. So the reason for me to do this kind of videos is for people who don't understand the complex topics at EGD. So basically now I am still focusing on interpenetration because I get some requests from students who want to understand how to draw a question like this. Okay, so with interpenetration and development, one thing that you need to understand is that you are dealing with polygons and you need to know where to start constructing your polygons. Okay, and then looking at our question, you are given the casting of an incomplete front view and a top view cylinder that has been shaped to fit around a pentagonal prism. You are given the cylinder and the prism. You are also given the auxiliary view of a cylinder, the starting position of point O on the drawing sheet. And looking at your instructions, you must draw to scale 1:1 the given top view, the complete front view showing the curve of interpenetration, the left view, and also develop the surface of the pentagonal prism showing point of interpenetration. Right. You must also develop the surface of the cylinder. Use point S as the start position. Show all hidden detail lines and fold lines. Okay, so one thing that you guys must take into account is every time when you are dealing with a cylinder, you must divide your auxiliary view, which is a circle. You are going to divide it into 12 equal parts. And then dealing with polygons, you will need to use certain angles in order for you to get them. Okay, so now looking at our question, here's our top view and then this is our front view. Okay, how do you know that? You know that by using our hashtag method, because simply our interpenetration and development question falls under our first angle orthographic projection paper, meaning here it will be our front view, this will be our top view, and on our right it will be our left, and on our left it will be our right. Understood? So now I know that if this is my top view here, above my top view I will have my front view. So as you can see that my starting position O is the center of my pentagonal pipe and also the center of my cylindrical pipe. Okay, so now I have started with my horizontal construction, as you can see here. So now I will need to construct my auxiliary view for my pentagonal pipe, and then with my auxiliary view I must also include my start, which is my center line O. Okay, so I am given a side length of 40 for my pentagonal pipe. We are given a height of 62, and then we are given a measurement from the center to the outer line here where our cylinder is starting to interpenetrate, which is 45 away from the center line. So starting with that 45, I can simply measure my 45 on this vertical line. And once I get my 45 here, I know that somewhere here I will have my cylinder there. Okay, so now to start with my auxiliary view of my pentagonal pipe, come here and you measure 40 because we are given a side length of 40 on the horizontal line. And then once you have your 40, you can label them C and B. Okay, and then using your protractor, this must be your 0.0, and then because we are dealing with a pentagon, we will have to say 360 divided by number of sides, which is 5. By now you guys should know this. So 72 angle is the one that we are using whenever you are dealing with a pentagon. Okay, so standing here on point C, we are looking for 72 between 70 and 8. Okay, don't ever make a mistake of looking for 72 between 60 and 70, ladies and gentlemen. Just make sure that you are between 70 and 8. Also here at point B, look for 72 between Okay, this is how you do your pentagonal auxiliary view. And then with the same measurement or the same length of 40, so you'll need to have your arc here and also here. Then once you have those two arcs, you'll have your point E there. This is your E. Where those two arcs intersect, it will be your point E. Okay, which is, it will be this point. And here we'll have A and D. So now you need to join all these points. Because one center line goes through our point E, as we can see here, you see that one center line goes through point E. So vertically, so perpendicular to line segment CD, we can have our vertical center line. And in order for us to know where is our another center line, which is our horizontal center line, we can quickly put our auxiliary view inside a square. Okay, so that we can get our horizontal center line. And then after putting our auxiliary view inside a square, we can use our diagonal lines. So basically, where our diagonal lines meet, which is here, it will be our point O. Okay. Here it is our horizontal center line. So coming here to feature our auxiliary view here on our drawing, you will need to listen very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. From O approaching our base, we need this distance here, which is this distance. From O approaching our base. So coming on your auxiliary view, take this measurement from O to your base. You come on point O, describe an arc which is here. You see, meaning somewhere on this line, you will have, this is line BC, because this is 2 points on this line, okay, which is B and C. And because I know this side length is 40, meaning from here to here it will be 20. Also from here to here it will be 20. So coming here on this side, with my measuring rule, I can simply have 20 here and then my 20. So now I know this is B and this is C. Alright. And then now I will need to also measure from my center to my point E. So from my center to my point E is this distance. And then from my center O, this will be my point E. Okay. And then now I will need to have my vertical construction here through my center, which is my vertical center line. So this center line, it will be this horizontal center line at my auxiliary view. So I will have to take a measurement from my center to the outer line, which is here somewhere where is our A, and then also from here to this outer line here where we will find our point D. So from point O to the outer line, take that measurement, you feature it here. Okay, and then also from point O to A. So once you got that point, you do your horizontal construction, okay? And then somewhere on this line you'll have your point A. How do you measure your point A, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so here, so coming here at your base on this line, you go to your point A, which is here. This is your point A, right? So you go back to your drawing to feature your point A. Standing here on your base, this will be your point A, okay? Also standing here, it will be your point D, and then you can label D, A. Once you have all your points, you can use your solid lines right. So once you are done, you will need to create your XY line any distance away from your top view. Okay, then also your horizontal, a vertical XY line. This is your vertical XY line. So you can say this is Y. Let's label this X. Okay, either way. And now because they want you to construct your left view, meaning your left will be on this side. So using our 45 line will be on our right. Why are we using our 45? We are using our 45 angle to align all our views accurately and correctly. So every point on your top view, you construct it to your 45, and then you construct it back on the side, which is, it will be your left view. Then also from your top to your front. Alright. So here you'll have your point A, which is line E will be there, line A and D, then also line BC. Our center line now, it is no longer important because we have already used it. Okay, it will be important on our left view so that we can get our circle. So now from your XY line, you are given a height of 62. So coming here, you measure your 62. Yes, your 62. Okay, let me quickly construct all these lines on this side. And then one thing that you guys don't need to forget is you must always label all your lines so that you don't get lost along the way, right? So if this is D, point D on our top, meaning on this line we'll have D here, also here, okay? And if this is point C, meaning on this line we'll have C, also we'll have C here, right? Then E will be on our center, B will be here, and then the last one is A. Okay, before we can use our solid lines there, we will need to construct our cylindrical pipe on our left view. Okay, and then from that cylindrical pipe we will make it our auxiliary view because we don't have space to make our auxiliary view this side. All right, so if 62, you just have to find half of 62, which is 31, and then we have our center line. So on the center line, I will just have to measure 31. So 31 is here. And on this 31, I quickly Alright, so now I can construct my cylindrical pipe, which is the diameter I'm given is diameter 50, meaning if I'm given diameter 50, I set my compass to radius 25, right? Radius 25, then I construct. So now I can use my solid lines, okay? So my solid line looking from this side is going to be A, B, C, and D, okay? Then E, my E will be at the back, so it will be a hidden detail line, so I don't have to use my solid line there, okay? Also B, okay? Then C again, and then also D, okay? And then every time when you are dealing with a cylinder, I said you must divide your circle into 12 equal parts, okay? So because this is labeled S, I am going to label this one S, and this one is going to be my S3, S6. Let's make this one S9, right? So with the same measurement that we constructed our circle with, you stand on S3, scribe an arc, scribe an arc, okay? Come on S9, you have your arc here on this side, and also here. Coming again on 6, you have your arc, and then here you will have your arc again, okay? Then standing at S, you will have your arc there, then you have your arc also there. So moving along with your labelings, this will be S0, S1, S2, 3 here, S4, S5, okay, S7, 8, S10, and 11. So now, once you have all your points, you will need to construct them to your front view this side. 5 is in the same line with 7. 4 is in the same line with 8. 3 and 9. 2 and 10. 1 and 11, and also S. Okay. And then looking from this side, which is coming from this side, because this is our front, we are going to see E as a visible line, A and B, okay? D is behind A, but on this line we have a visible line, so our hidden detail won't be visible. Not forgetting to label all your lines. This is AD, AD, CB here, CB, okay. Okay, so remember this line is the one that we started with, which is, it is 45 millimeter away from our center line, okay? You just have to measure 45 millimeter away, and then you get this line, which is, I have it here. So now I know that my cylindrical pipe is from S6 here until S0. So now, because I have labeled here on my left, I will also need to label my front view. Okay, on this line I have S0, S1 and 11, S2 and 10, S3 and 9, S4 and 8, S5 and 7, and the last one is S6. Okay, so also we need to construct our cylindrical pipe from our left to our 45 angle and then back to our top view. Okay, so 2 and 4 will be on the same line with B. This is 1 and 5 will be on the same line, 0 and 6, and then 7 and 11. Sorry about that. 7 and 11, and also 10 and 8, and the last one is 9. Okay, and as soon as it touches your 45, you construct them back to your top view, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is how you deal with cylinder and also different polygons. Every time when you are dealing with polygons, you just have to label so that you don't get lost. Here it will be 8 and 10, yeah. And then you have 7 and 11, 1, 5. Yeah. So now on this center line you will have S0 and 6. Okay, then on this one you will have S9 and S3. Okay, so using my solid lines here, till here. So my S9 will be a little bit up. S6 and 0 there. Okay. Alright. So now what you need to do is that you will need to complete our front view. Okay, so as completing our front view, we will need to check how long is all our points interpenetrating on our pentagonal pipe, right? So this will be S10 and 8, 10, 8. Here will be level 7, S11, 7, 0, 6, then S1, 5, then S4, 2. Okay, so coming here, let's start at 0. Okay, we all start at 0. Starting at 0, we are going to 1. So 0, how long is 0 interpenetrating? 0 is interpenetrating from here until here. Okay, which you can also see from our front that it is interpenetrating until here. Alright, then from 0 we are going to 1, meaning we are coming down here on this line. Okay, then 1, it is also interpenetrating until line B and C, which is B and C is here. And then we have our point here on line B and C. And this is not only 1, ladies and gentlemen, because we labeled it twice. This is 1 and 5, so we have to come again on 5 and have our point there on 5. Okay, then you can also check that from 1 go to 2, which is 2 is in the same line with B here on our left view. Okay, so 2 is also interpenetrating until B, So this is 2. And then this is not only 2, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 and 4. Okay, so this is 2 and 4 is here. All right, and then 3 is interpenetrating until here. So you need to take your set square, construct your vertical line there. All right, so constructing a vertical line, that you can see that 3 and 9 are interpenetrating until the same point, which is, it will be here. This will be 3 and 9. This will be 2 and 10. So this will be 4 and 8, 5, 7. This will be 1, 11, and 0 there, 6 here. You can see, ladies and gentlemen. So what you will need to do is that you will need to join all your points. You can join them with freehand, or you can use your flexi curve. And then when you are done, you can use your solid lines also on the side. Alright, and then that's how you complete your, that is your front view. Okay, so now coming to your development, you will need to finish this horizontal line here. This will be your pentagonal pipe, because it is labeled with alphabets. Okay, and then from S, that's where we are going to use we are going to label to develop, your cylindrical pipe. And then every time when you are dealing with development of cylinders, you need to use this equation, pi times diameter. Okay, so that you find the length of this line here, which is going to be pi multiplied by diameter 50. So for me on my side, it gave me 157 something. Let me recheck. Pi times 50, 157.079. Okay, can make it 0.8. So coming on this line, I have to measure 157.08. 110, 14, 15, and here this is 150, 157, somewhere between 15,5,6,7, between 15,7 there and 8. Okay, so this auxiliary view is going to disturb me somehow, but yeah, I will see what I do. So now, starting with our cylindrical pipe, now that you have got your length of 157,08, you will need to divide your line into 12 equal parts. Okay, I think by now, ladies and gentlemen, you should know how to divide your line segment. Okay, any angle, can use any angle here, and then coming on that line you just did, set your compass to any measurement. Okay, and then you scribe your arc from S. This is S1. This will be 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then not forgetting to label all your points. It will be S1, 2, 3, S4, S5, S6, S7. And then back at S0. And then the last point on this line, we will need to join it with our point here. Okay. Then parallel to this line, you can simply use your set squares. Parallel to this line, you simply go to each point you did here on this line and then construct your lines. Okay, then now you will need to use your horizontal construction lines again on those points. See this thing. Let me try to remove this top part here because we have already used it. Okay. So now we need to check how long is S until S11 interpenetrating here on our front view. Okay. So from S we are going to S1. Okay. They are interpenetrating from here until line BC. Okay. So this is S on this side and S on this side. Okay. That's where your points are. And then you can see that this measurement applies to S1 and S11. Okay. So coming here, this is S11, heavy point, and also S1. Okay. Then also this measurement apply to S2 and 10. And then also on the side it applies to S5 and S7. Okay. As you can see, they all end at line BC. So coming here, you're looking at S7 here, and then also S5 will be here. Okay. And then also 4 and 8 are interpenetrating until line BC. So 4 will be interpenetrating until there, and also 8. And then you will need to check your 6, also your 6, because 6 is at the bottom here. So this is how long 6 is interpenetrating. Okay, so basically they are interpenetrating with the same length. Okay, and then only 3 and 9 are interpenetrating until here, and also 0 and 8. Okay, yeah, 3 and 9. So standing here, this is 3 and 9. Okay, coming here, this will be our 3, and then our 9 will be on this line. Okay, where's our 10 and our 2? Our 10 and 2. Here's our 10 and 2. 10 and 2. Two, another 10. Okay, so what you need to check now is that you will need to construct this with your freehand, these curves from this point until this one. You will need to use your freehand because this is a cylindrical pipe. Okay, so alright, and then all these ones you can quickly use your square there. Okay, and then now you will need to also develop your pentagonal pipe. How do you go about it? Now since we have constructed our horizontal line, we need our vertical line so that we can get our height. Okay, and then you can see that our height from our given is 62. So coming here, we have your 62 there. Sorry about that. This is your horizontal line, vertical line, you have your 62 there. Okay, once you have your 62, you also construct the horizontal line, and then you divide your line segment into equal parts. Okay, because we are developing our pentagonal pipe, we need to use a through length from A to B, from B to C, C to D, so B, C, D, E, and then also A again here. Then once you're done, you can use your solid line to close. Alright, and then now you need to check that from A going to B, come across 3. Okay, from A approaching B, from A approaching B, come across B. Okay, here is our from A approaching B, come across 3. So you will need to label your 3 there. Okay, and from 3 that's when you can go to B. So here 3 we have our point 3 standing on our XY, we have our point 3 there. You can see. Then standing here, you have your point 3 somewhere there. So basically this will be your point 3. Sorry about that. And then not only this will be point 3, but it will also be point 9. So I'm constructing my horizontal line. Okay, so where do I get my point 9? My point 9, I'm getting it between C and D. Okay, so between C and D I should have my 9. So coming here again, measuring from D approaching C, I have my point 9 there. So from D approaching C, this is 9. So I have also my point there. Okay, and then at B I have 2 4 is here. I have also this is 4 2 1 3, not 1 3. This is 1 and 5, 0 and 6, 11 and 7 between B approaching C. Okay, so that distance from B I have 4 and 2, which is here. So at B this will be 4 and then 2 here again. And then now from B approaching C I come across 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so I will need to take a measurement from my top view. Okay, so from B approaching C, this is where I come across 1 and 5. Okay, B and approaching C, this is my 1 5. So basically here I will also have 2 points. Okay, so where's my 1? There's my 1 there. Here's my 1 on my left view. So this will be my 1, and my 5 will be here. Okay, and then this is not okay. Moving on from 1 to 5, I need to go to 6. From 1 I'm going to 0. Okay, so here I'm taking a measurement from B approaching C, come across 0 and 6. Okay, B approaching C comes 0 and 6 here, come across 0 and 6. So here on 0 and 6 I construct my vertical construction line, and then I will need to fetch my point 0 here on my left view and also my point 6. Okay, so line 6. Okay, then from my height, this is my O. Okay, here on my height I will have my S0. This is 0 6, then here is 5 1 2 3 4, and then from 6 approaching C I come across 7. Okay, 11 and 7. So from 6 and my 11 and 7 there. And then with my 11 and 7 means I have 2 points. So going back at my left view, I'm looking for point 7, which is here. Then my S11 will be from my XY to 11. XY, this will be 11. Okay, 11, and then that's when I can now go to C. Okay, here's my C. So on line C I will just need to fetch those 2 points. Okay, already touches my circle. So C, B here, and then not only there but also here. Okay, then from C approaching D I come across 2 lines. Okay, which I can also say from D approaching C I come across 2 lines. Now I have my line I'm now showing you this line here, which is from C. Let's make it from C approaching D. I come across line, which is line 10 and 8. Okay, that's 10 and 8. C approaching D, that's 10 and 8 there. And with 10 and 8, I will have to have my 2 points. Okay, from my XY line, this will be my 8. Here, coming here on this line, this will be my 8. Then, also again on that line, here's my 10. Alright, and now with all these points, C, 10, 8, and 9, I will need to join all my points using freehand. Okay. You can use your flexi curve, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to use your freehand like me. Okay, and then you must not forget your fold lines. Here at C, also here at B. Yeah, and then that's the end of today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you found this video very helpful for you, please share it with your friends, share it with family, and don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video once again. Enjoy.